Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is my first video. I thought I would start off with a book haul since it was recently my 23rd birthday, and as you can see I grew my collection by quite a little bit. I thought I would just go through each book and kind of their themes, genres, and just talk a little bit about why I was interested in buying them. Most of them were on a list that I was kind of collating for this big birthday shop, but we do have some stragglers, ones that were either too good of a deal to leave behind or just seemed really interesting. So I'll start off with the book that was on the top of the pile, and that is Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. This is a romance, cowboy romance, brothers to best friend, small town romance. I'd seen a reading vlog where a girl read this and she said something really funny. I think she said like, I read this book and I believe cowboys are real now, and I thought that was hilarious. I then picked up Victoria Aveyard's Blade Breaker series, well, at least the first two in the series. I know the third one is due to come out soon. It is a YA fantasy. The main character has like a hidden power that kind of puts her in the middle of this dangerous political game. I thought they would just be fun to read. I then picked up the first two books in the This Woven Kingdom series by Tahereh Mafi. I read Shatter Me last year and I enjoyed it, but this follows the main character who is the heir to the kingdom's crown, and she is forced to seek refuge as a servant to evade those who would have her killed. Again, another YA fantasy. I then picked up the Letters of Enchantment duology by Rebecca Ross. This is again another YA fantasy romance. This follows two journalists who are rivals. They're rivaling for this like position at the paper, I guess, that they work at, and like by day they're like these big competitors who hate each other, and then at night they anonymously write letters to each other, so it's kind of like enemies to lovers. Apparently the magic world is like really easy to get into, and it's just a nice sweet duology, and the covers are absolutely, hold on, oh, my pile almost fell over. They're so pretty, and I saw them on the counter, and I had to pick them up because they were absolutely gorgeous. I then picked up Nightbane. This is the second book in the Lightlark series. I haven't read Lightlark, but I did pick it up when it came out. I know it was really hyped up, and I kind of bought it from the TikTok that Alec Astor made, and then saw that it was completely review bombed, so I don't know if that put me off, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. But I know the first book is about an island that appears every 100 years and hosts like a deadly game, and someone from each district, I'm thinking of Hunger Games, kind of fights. Maybe I need to reread the synopsis of that, but only one can win type situation. I then picked up Feybound. This was all over my Goodreads and my Waterstones app feed, which is incredibly sad. But this follows the main character who makes a big mistake, and they are forced from their borders into the wilderness. They then come across the Fey court. The Fey haven't been seen in forever, but I'm sure that they come around, and there is some big twist there. This is a high fantasy romance fairy tale. I'm not going to pick the next one up because it is the entire Throne of Glass series. My boyfriend got me this after I absolutely devoured ACOTAR in a month. This is a YA fantasy romance following a main character who is a teenage assassin in a corrupt kingdom, follows her journey through quite a lot of books, 8 books. I was very intrigued actually by this, as I watched a reading vlog where the person read the 6th and 7th in tandem, and I didn't really know that was a thing, nor had I ever heard of anyone ever doing that before. But I think I will also do it like that. I'm going to check out some like forums and see how people are doing it, because I also think there's controversy as to when you're supposed to read The Assassin's Blade. So I'm gonna be well researched before I delve into this. My boyfriend then got me the Crescent City series. The third book actually came out on my birthday, so it was really fun to see all the decor in the Waterstones. But this is a murder mystery, urban fantasy. It follows the main character who kind of lives this perfect life until she encounters demons who have murdered her friend. There is an accused character and they kind of go to prison for it, but the crimes start to crop up again. And then I think the main character Bryce finds herself in the middle of that situation / investigation. I really didn't know that was what it was about, and I'm even more intrigued now. I then picked up the first 2 books in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series by Stephanie Garber. These have been all over my YouTube feed, Goodreads, every recommendation for so long. It is a romantasy. I don't think it's YA, but it follows the main character Evangeline, whose sister is kind of about to marry her one true love, and Evangeline thinks he is cursed and is desperate to stop the wedding from happening. She enlists the help of the Jacks. She enlists the help of the Jacks, a Fate and the Prince of Hearts. Oh my god, I just read something on the back of the second book. I then picked up Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher. This is a contemporary romance and new adult fiction. It's a steamy small town romance about 2 family friends turned rivals. I actually enjoyed the Dreamland Billionaire trilogy. I'm very excited for this. I was gifted 1984 by George Orwell. This has been on one of my wish lists for forever. It's a dystopian science fiction, political fiction. It's one of the banned books around the world. And I can't believe I've never read it before, to be honest with you. Well, I can and I can't. I then picked up The Girl Before by J.P. Delaney. This is a thriller, psychological fiction. It follows the main character Jane, who moves into this modern minimalist house, but then discovers that the girl who lived there before looked exactly like her, and she died. So big. I have no idea how this is going to play out, but I'm quite excited. Little bit of a rogue one, but like I mentioned, some books were too good of a deal not to take home, and this was in a Works 2 for £6 deal. It is The 20 by Sam Holland, a mystery detective thriller, kind of like a race against time to find a serial killer. I then ordered myself Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. Again, another one that I've heard so much about over the years, and I have read some of Christina Lauren's books and enjoyed them. I did not order this cover though, and if you've seen the American cover, you will know how hurt and destroyed I am by receiving this in the post. It's a contemporary romance. All I know about this actually is that the story is just told in altering lifetimes, with different point of views, I believe. It's childhood friends, but that's all I really know about it. I then also picked up in the Works deal The Statistical Probability of Love at First Sight by Jennifer E. Smith. This is a YA contemporary romance. I saw this in a reading blog, so when I saw it in the deal, I was like, I'll definitely pick this up. What I know about this is a fast-paced romance, close proximity. I think it takes place within 24 hours in an airport, so very short read. I think this will just be a good fluffy romance in between some other heavier books. I also picked up The Empire of the Vampire by Jay Kristoff. This is a dark supernatural fantasy vampire literature. It's a novel about vampires taking over humanity, and follows the last living vampire who is captured and held prisoner, and he is awaiting execution for killing the Human King. I then picked up Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett. I saw this in Hayley Pham's reading vlog. It's a cozy fantasy, magical realism, romantasy book. Follows the character Emily Wilde, who lives life like very simply, and she wishes to complete her encyclopedia of fairy folk. I haven't really read much cozy fantasy, and Legends and Lattes is on my list, but I thought this was a little bit more me, and it is beautiful. I then picked up Powerless by Lauren Roberts, another 5-star hyped romantasy book that I've seen everywhere. This follows the forbidden romance between an ordinary girl and someone quite high in this society, and kind of explores the impact of the laws that are like pitting them against each other, and how they overcome them. I then picked up Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo. This is the second book in the Alex Aster duology, following Ninth House, which has been on my TBR for a while and I've not gotten around to, but I know it's going to be fantastic. I actually hate this cover, I cannot look at it, but I got this red sprayed edge edition. It was really pretty, and this has been in Waterstones for so long and it's something I always look at and intend to pick up. It's a thriller, supernatural, paranormal fantasy. I didn't really look up the plot because I don't want any spoilers for the first book. I picked up Godkiller, another one that's like in every single chart topper. My boyfriend and I are going to buddy read this, but he needs to pick it up. I got this gorgeous forest green sprayed edge edition. This is an adventure, fantasy fiction, historical fiction, I think also. The protagonist in this novel devotes her life to killing gods. She happens upon this young child and she sets upon this quest to free her from this god that she cannot kill. I'm really excited about this, actually, like mythology, fantasy, adventure vibes. I know the second book is coming out this year, so I'm going to read this soon. I then picked up the Kingdom of the Wicked trilogy by Kerri Maniscalco. This is a fantasy thriller following Amelia, who is a witch. Amelia finds her twin sister's body burnt and kind of sets off to seek vengeance using dark magic that's been banned for a long time. I've heard really good things about this trilogy, and yes, I did pick up the entire trilogy before reading the first novel. Last but not least, I picked up The Day of Fallen Night by Samantha Shannon. This is in a duology with The Priory of the Orange Tree, another book I have yet to read but has been on my shelf for a while. It's a high fantasy exploring the reawakening of ancient evil and its impact on the people. That is the end of my haul. Absolutely humongous and very unnecessary. Thank you so much for watching my first video. I really enjoyed filming this and talking about books because I annoy everybody in my life talking about books too much. If you like this video, please subscribe, and let me know if you would like to see any videos in particular. I will be uploading next what I read in January, and then hopefully I will do that each month.